This is the lab for chapter 12. You have to do journal entries for the following 4 transactions. It's not really a big deal, but we'll do them together. Assuming it's December 31st of 2019, when you have an outstanding note payable to Fake Bank of Kingsville from when you started Monopoly Corp. The note was originated on June 1st of 2019. The note has a principal balance of $15,000 and the annual interest rate is 6%. You can assume the note is current and all appropriate payments have been made so far. Journalize the adjusting entry for 6 months of interest accrued but not paid. And actually, I think it should be 7 months because it was June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That's 7 months. So anyway, so to accrue interest, remember it's interest expense, interest payable, and then to calculate, you use the balance. So the balance of 15,000 times the interest rate times the number of months that have gone by over 12. Because remember, interest is always stated on an annual basis. It's 525. All right, number 2. It is December of 31st, 2019. You decide to pay off the loan to Fake Bank Kingsville for a property you bought 3 months ago. The loan amount is $15,000. So far, you have not paid or accrued anything on this loan. Calculate the interest. Assume 3 full months of interest and a 4% interest rate. Journalize the transaction to pay that interest and pay off the principal of the loan in full. So these are all separate transactions, all right? So transaction 2 doesn't have anything to do with transaction 1. All right, so we actually borrowed some money, now we're gonna pay it off. So when we pay it off, we're gonna have a debit to the note payable because we're paying it off. We're gonna have a debit to interest expense because that has to be paid as well. And cash is gonna go out the door. All right, the debit to the note is always the face amount. All right, that's what we're paying off. The interest expense we have to calculate, and it's gonna be the $15,000 times the interest of 4% times the 3 months that have gone by over 12. So $150 for interest expense, and the total is going to be $15,150 that we have to pay. All right, number 3. It is January 1st of 2019, and you decide to build a giant hotel complex on one of your properties. You decide to issue some 10-year bonds and use the cash to build the hotel. You issue 100 bonds with a face value of $1,000 each. The 10-year bonds are issued at face value and have an interest rate of 4% per year. Record the journal entry for the January 1st, 2019 bond issuance. Okay, so I borrowed some money by selling bonds. So I'm going to have cash and bond payable. Or bonds, whatever. All right, I sold 100 bonds with a face value of $1,000 a piece. So I got $100,000. Which is not much if I want to build a giant hotel, but oh well. I can't even build a giant house for that. But that's it for that one. All right, and then the 4th transaction is the first 6 months of interest on these bonds. All right, so when you're making the first 6-month interest payment, it's going to be interest expense. And cash is going to go out the door. And it's the bond amount times the interest rate times 6 over 12 months. So $2,000.